There's something you might not have realized for a long time, or maybe you've misunderstood. It's like incorrect sayings passed down through generations, like an unhelpful idea sticking in your mind, making you try and try without seeing results. You work hard, build relationships, and make many sacrifices, but the door to a wealthy, abundant life remains tightly shut. Why is that? It's because the things you've always believed to be true about success, relationships, and your own worth are actually holding you back. They are old, outdated ways of thinking, completely at odds with the timeless principles of wealth creation that wise people of the past figured out, which we call ancient wisdom. Today, let's look directly at these misunderstandings. I'll point out 3 harmful, mistaken ways of thinking, 3 old lies that are quietly pulling you back, preventing you from achieving the prosperous life you deserve. This might not be comfortable to hear. You might even feel shocked, as if someone is telling you the opposite of what you've always believed. But trust me, only when you dare to face the truth can you truly change and be free. Are you ready? Let's begin. 1. Misunderstanding about relationships, socializing. First, let's talk about socializing and building relationships. Do you often hear sayings like, knowing many people makes things easier, or you get rich because of your friends? Forget about that. According to ancient wisdom, that's a very simple way of thinking. The harsh truth is, people will only help you when you offer them some specific benefit. It's not about affection, it's about give and take. Just think about it. You go to an event, meet many people. You meet someone who seems important, who might help you in your work. You buy them a drink, chat pleasantly, get their business card. You feel like you've made a connection, right? I have a friend named Mark who sells auto parts. Once at a class reunion, he met an old college friend who was now a senior purchasing manager for a major U.S. car company. Jackpot. Mark tried hard to impress him, offered drinks, made promises. The old friend seemed pleased and said he'd consider Mark's company's products. Sounds like it went well, right? But wait. Later that evening, Mark went back to get a forgotten coat and saw his business card thrown carelessly on the floor among used napkins. That's when Mark realized the so-called connection wasn't about friendship. It was just the other person quickly assessing if there was any benefit for them. And at that moment, Mark wasn't beneficial enough. Maybe you're thinking, but I'm good at socializing. Okay, let me tell you about another friend, Sarah, a writer. When she first started, Sarah also thought success meant going to every party, getting to know famous writers, and trying to get their phone numbers. She'd approach anyone influential in her field, hoping they'd help promote her books. The result, polite brush-offs or empty promises. They'd read her work and then nothing. Sound familiar? Are you wasting time on relationships like that? But Sarah's story didn't end there. After many disappointments, she made a surprising decision. She stopped almost all of that kind of socializing. She stayed home and wrote. She read best-selling books, tahlil, analyzing every word, and wrote at least 4,000 words every day. For months, she lived like a hermit, only going online to see what readers thought of her work and then revising it. What was the result? In just 2 years, Sarah wrote several best-selling novels and became a famous author. Now the very people who ignored her before were actively seeking her out, inviting her to collaborate. See the difference? While you're still trying hard to get a phone number truly successful, people are quietly building their own strength and value. Ancient wisdom teaches the most important part of social capital is the capital. What do you have to offer in exchange? If you have nothing special, then even if you manage to get into elite circles, you're just an extra at the party. So why do your efforts to connect often fail? No clear goal. Many people socialize just for the sake of it, attending every event, joining every group. Eventually, it's just a waste of time. Every meeting should have a purpose, to learn to find information or to find opportunities for cooperation. No unique value. What special thing can you offer others? If you can't answer that, why should they remember you? Not maintaining relationships. Meeting once isn't a relationship. You need to continuously provide value and keep in touch. How to build truly effective relationships according to ancient wisdom. Quality over quantity. Don't try to know a lot of people. Focus on connecting deeply with a few suitable individuals. One quality friend is better than 100 casual acquaintances. Give first. Before you want to ask for a favor, think about what you can do for them. Information advice or an introduction. When you become someone who brings value, people will naturally come to you. Constantly improve yourself. You are your most valuable asset. When you become more skilled and knowledgeable, you will naturally attract others. Use social media wisely. Don't depend on it. Social media is a good tool, but truly valuable relationships often require face-to-face meetings. Learn to listen. Many people in social situations just want to talk about themselves. When you know how to listen, you'll understand what others need, and from there, you'll know how to bring them value. Before we continue, think about this. What's the biggest mistake you've made when trying to build relationships? Or which relationship has brought you the most value and why? Share in the comments. This channel, Ancient Wisdom Unlocked, is where we learn together. If you find this helpful, please click the like button so more people can see it. 2. Misunderstanding about wealth. Working hard. All right, you've started to think differently about relationships. But there's another idea, perhaps even more harmful, that you need to discard immediately, that just working hard day in and day out will make you rich. You still think so, don't you? Working late, no weekends off, all just to earn a little extra. But I have to tell you the truth. According to ancient wisdom, truly wealthy people avoid earning money in extremely difficult, exhausting ways. Don't believe it? Let me tell you about my friend David, who worked at an import-export company. He was very diligent, always looking for customers, sending hundreds of emails, making dozens of calls. He was so tired he'd fall asleep on the bus. You'd think working like that would make him a lot of money, right? Wrong. It went on like that for 6 months. Then one day he forgot his phone at the office and had to go back after work to get it. He was surprised to see a colleague still there, looking at documents, typing. What made him even more desperate was that this colleague's salary was only average in the company. That's when he realized the company didn't lack people who worked like crazy like him. It lacked people who actually brought in profit for the company. This completely changed David. A few days later, he volunteered to take on the South American market, a place most other employees avoided because there were few customers and a lot of bad debt. But in just 1 year, he not only recovered millions of dollars in debt, but also found dozens of stable customers. With just these 2 achievements, he was promoted to sales director, and his income surpassed 90% of the company's employees. See the difference. While you're still working hard overtime for a little extra pay, truly successful people are thinking about how to create real value. Remember, behind wealth is always value. A common mistake is to do difficult jobs just like everyone else, but dream of being richer than them. Staying up late, working too hard. Wake up. What you need isn't to spend more time, but to completely change your way of working and your thinking. Why does the employee mindset limit your wealth? Income is linear, not exponential. When you're an employee, you work 8 hours. You get paid for 8 hours. But business owners or investors, their income isn't limited by time. They can make money even while sleeping. Money makes more money. Limited advancement opportunities. In most companies, there's a ceiling on your salary. No matter how hard you try, it's hard to earn more than your boss. Fear of risk. Because you're afraid of losing your stable job, you don't dare to try new opportunities. But remember, the biggest risk is not daring to take any risk. Fixed thinking. Working in one job for a long time can make it hard for you to accept new ideas and opportunities, preventing you from finding new ways to make money. So how do you overcome the employee mindset and achieve financial freedom according to ancient wisdom? Create multiple income streams. Don't just rely on your salary. Start creating passive income like investing, affiliate marketing, or a small online business. The goal is to have money work for you, not you working for money. Invest in yourself. This is the best investment. Continuously learn new skills, especially those that can create passive income like writing, programming, or making videos. Find ways to use leverage instead of doing everything yourself. Find ways to build systems to automate tasks or to get more results from one effort. For example, instead of doing it yourself, you can guide others or use tools to help. Think like a business owner, even if you're still an employee. Think about how to create more value for the company, not just complete assigned tasks. See work as a process of creating value. When you focus on creating value instead of just thinking about making money, you'll find that making money becomes easier. Overcoming the employee mindset doesn't mean you have to quit your job immediately to start a business. It means you need to start thinking about how to create more value in your current job. Only then can you escape the cycle of working hard but not getting rich. Are these things making you think? If you've had an aha moment, please click like on this video. And remember to subscribe to the Ancient Wisdom Unlocked channel, because the next part is even more important. 3. Misunderstanding about value giving and receiving. Now, you might be thinking, okay, I get it. Smarter relationships, leveraged work. I'm ready. But hold on, there's still one final barrier, perhaps the hardest to overcome, that needs to change your concept of value specifically. The idea that you should always try to get the most benefit for yourself immediately. Sounds illogical, right? Isn't the goal to get the most for yourself? But according to ancient wisdom, this could be the biggest obstacle, preventing you from becoming truly and sustainably wealthy. Hard to believe, listen to the story of the businesswoman Emily. When she first started working, she and a senior male colleague were assigned to an important international client. His English wasn't very good, so communication was difficult, and Emily helped resolve things. The client was very impressed with her and said they only wanted to work directly with her from then on. A good opportunity, right? But the story isn't over. This client, despite the senior colleague's year-long efforts, hadn't placed a single order. But after Emily took over, the client signed a multi-million-dollar contract. The boss was naturally very happy and decided to give Emily half the commission from that order. Let's say a large life-changing sum, about $50,000. But what happened next surprised everyone. Emily refused to take a single penny. She gave it all to her senior colleague. She even told the boss that the client was initially handled by her senior, and she just closed the final deal. You might think she was foolish, right? To give up $50,000. Hold that thought. Ancient wisdom often looks at the long term. Because of this act, that senior colleague became her strongest supporter. He actively sought her out for collaborations and referred his best clients to her. Years later, when Emily quit her job to start her own company, the resources and referrals from that one senior colleague alone brought her millions of dollars in profit. See the difference. While you're still busy calculating every little gain and loss, truly wise people are already building bigger relationships and successes based on giving. The famous entrepreneur Kazuo Inamori once spoke of the altruistic heart. not just morality, but business wisdom. Relationships between people are reciprocal. No one wants to work long-term with selfish people who only think of themselves. Benefits should be shared. When you let others have their share, you're actually securing long-term benefits for yourself. If you're still calculating every small advantage, then wake up. You don't need to calculate more. You need to broaden your horizons and look further. How to change your view of value and become more successful. Put yourself in others' shoes. Before making any decision, try to think about how the other person will feel what they need. This helps you understand them better and opens up more opportunities for cooperation. Think long-term. Don't just look at immediate benefits. Sometimes taking a small loss now can bring big rewards later, like Emily's story. Build trust. In business, trust is the most valuable asset. When you are honest and trustworthy, people will want to cooperate with you and give you more opportunities. Create win-win situations. Don't just think about how to get more for yourself. Find ways for both sides to benefit. When you help others, your value also increases. Never stop learning. Always keep an open mind. Absorb new knowledge and perspectives. This helps you find more opportunities and not fall behind. Changing your concept of value isn't something that happens overnight. It takes time, and you might even fail a few times. But only when you get through it can you truly break your limits. What does value truly mean to you? Has this perspective changed your thinking? Share in the comments. The Ancient Wisdom Unlocked channel is where we explore together. For change and action. Now you know the invisible barriers preventing you from making more money, and you also know how to overcome them. But knowing isn't enough. Real change requires you to act immediately. Start by reviewing your relationships. Are you a value giver or just a taker? Change the way you work. Are you selling your time for money, or are you building leverage and value that can multiply? And most importantly, readjust how you see value. Do you only want small immediate benefits, or are you building a sustainable, successful future for yourself and those around you? Don't get caught up in pointless energy-draining activities. Focus all your energy on things that truly matter. Finally, I must remind you of one important thing from ancient wisdom. True strength isn't about trying harder at trivial things. It's about focusing on things of real value. A businessman friend of mine told me that when he was young and working in the city, he once ate at a roadside stall, and the owner falsely accused him of owing about $20 equivalent to a few 100,000 VND. As a result, he fought with the owner, and several employees ended up in the hospital, needing 18 stitches, and was fined several million for causing a disturbance. Do you think he won wrong? He lost badly. He was injured, lost money, and wasted precious time and energy. Many years later, this same friend became the owner of a large company. Once he was eating at a luxury restaurant and was mistakenly thought to have not paid. Guess what he did? He just apologized, paid the bill again, and quickly left. Why such a big change, he shared. It's not that I no longer care about money, but back then $20 was my whole day's work. Now the time I'd spend arguing is enough for me to earn many more meals than that. See the difference. Successful people aren't just good at making money. They also know how to avoid wasting time and energy on things that aren't worth it. So remember, the wisest way for an adult to live is to be diligent in smart wealth creation, but to ignore petty, meaningless matters. Don't waste your precious time on pointless arguments, comparisons, or complaints. Those things don't solve any problems. They just make you tired and hinder your progress. Instead, spend that time and energy on improving yourself and creating value. Only by doing so can you truly stand out and achieve your financial dreams. Change can be difficult at times. You might lose some friends who don't share your new direction. Colleagues might not understand you. You might even face temporary setbacks. But believe me, it's all worth it, because only by going through these things can you truly overcome your limits and make a leap forward. People say that getting rich isn't always a steady upward path. Many people only truly start making money after experiencing some setbacks, i.e., working hard but being unfairly fired, or working day and night on a business only to see it fail. The biggest meaning of these experiences is that they shatter old ways of thinking. If you don't break the old, you can't build the new. Only by experiencing the pain of old beliefs collapsing can you truly transform and advance. My dear friends, now you see the invisible barriers holding you back, and you also know how to overcome them. But knowing isn't enough. Real change requires you to act immediately. Remember that the world will never turn its back on those who dare to change and constantly strive for better. Your future is in your hands. From now on, reevaluate your relationships, change your work habits, and readjust your values. Don't get caught up in meaningless things. Dedicate all your energy to things that are truly valuable. Believe me, when you truly do this, you'll realize that the dream of wealth, which once seemed unattainable, is actually not too far away. In summary, the winner in life isn't the one who tries not to waste even a little effort on things past, but the one who summons all their strength when it's time to fight for what matters. Now is the time to act. Go and start creating your own legend. Remember, time will always pass, but opportunities to get rich don't wait for anyone. Years from now, you'll forget all the minor difficulties, but you'll be grateful to yourself for constantly striving intelligently, connecting sincerely, and living a life of value. Thank you for following Ancient Wisdom Unlocked. If you find these shares valuable, don't forget to share them with your friends and loved ones. What is one change you will make this week after hearing these things? Write it down in the comments. Let's try together. And of course, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to the Ancient Wisdom Unlocked channel. We will accompany you on this journey. Wishing you much luck and success. See you again.